Hi everybody, Charles here. Welcome to Backroads Living. In today's video, we're going to talk about some of the meats that Sandy and I stock in our pantry. Most of these are permanent things that we stock every time or every other time we go to the store. We try to pick up a can of one or more of these meats to put back for our future food, for our food source. So these are mostly pantry meats that we're going to show you here today. There may be one or two that we don't stock real regular, but we still have in our pantry that we eat from time to time. But like I say, for the most part, they are all pantry stock foods. Now, first off, let me apologize if there's any background noise. We normally try to eliminate that. Our central heating and air conditioning has been out for a few days, and we're having to run window air conditioners and fans. So if you hear a noise, that's what it is, or the fans in the background. It's just too hot here to turn them off. It's been in the 90s here for several days, and we're just fine. The window units are doing a good job, and it's not like central air, but we're not suffering, so thank the good Lord for that. So let's get started in this meats that we prep our pantry with. And one of the first ones that I want to talk about is something we've shown before, is this pulled pork. Now, we get this at Walmart. It is the Walmart brand, the Great Value. Now, it's important to have meats in your pantry. You need protein. Now, there's other things you can get protein from, like the beans and things like that. But meats have a lot of protein in them, and they have a tendency to fill you up a little bit better when you eat things like this. If you can't afford meats, I would always say, even though this is not a meat, I'm gonna say, when you're buying meats, if you're low on cash, substitute beans and rice. Yep, beans and rice and beans, because you can always eat just about anything with rice and beans. Very few things that they won't go with if you can find something to pair them with. Even these pulled pork, you can eat with beans or rice. Guys, listen, I know it may not sound like the yummiest thing on earth, but gosh, what a good meal it would make if you were hungry. Now, there's several ways to fix pulled pork, and one of the things I want to say about our meats, all these meats basically can be frozen. If you open a can of them and you only eat half of it, and you don't feel like eating the rest the next day or whatever it might be, drop it in a small freezer bag and freeze it. Normally you can freeze meats like this up to 2 or 3 months, and it'll still be, pretty tasty when you take it out of the freezer. So keep that in mind. Don't throw it out, or use it in something the next day. You can always make mac and cheese with it. People use it in mac and cheese. I've seen people use it in nachos and tacos. So there's no reason not to be able to make a meal out of pulled pork. Another thing that we have here that we get at Walmart is the Great Value roast beef. Again, this is another thing that we keep in our pantry. This is a staple in our pantry, just like the pulled pork is. When we go to Walmart, we try to pick up a can or two of this every time we go. So we'll have extra meat in the pantry for when times get lean. And I truly think that times are going to be getting lean, maybe quicker than we think. I'm not a professional in that area, and I had a lady tell me that last week that I was not. I can't help but laugh about it. She told me that I was not a professional, that I was an amateur, and that I was out trying to rob people because I had started another channel and was asking people to subscribe to that channel. Well, the reason I started that other channel is because we're just like everybody else on earth. We have bills to pay. We have water and electric to pay. We have gas to pay. We have insurance on the vehicle. We've got food to buy. We've got everything in the world just like everybody else has got, and we make our living online. Well, YouTube is free to you. We don't charge anything for YouTube. If you want to be a member of our YouTube group, you can. There's a button underneath this video that says join, And if you want to join and support us there with a small monthly fee, you can, but you don't have to. This is free. It's absolutely free. Every video on here, you can watch them all and it don't cost you nothing. But now Locals is different. It's like a Patreon. And we're taking out a lot of time to go over there and do those videos and do that stuff. And it costs $5 a month. It's 16 cents a day. And I promise you that that is not highway, regardless of what people may think, that's not highway robbery. $5 a month. You'll blow more than that on candy and stuff like that in a month. And, you know, and if having that channel over there is not important to you, then just, you know, don't subscribe to it. That's what I told her. You don't have to subscribe. You got this free right here. This is free. But anyway, roast beef is a good thing to have in your pantry. And don't forget, if you can go over there and visit us, the link's in the description box below to our Locals channel if you want to go over there and check it out. We have uploaded 2 videos over there in the last 2 days. It's pretty interesting videos. I think folks ought to watch them if you can. But anyway, let's get back to this. Roast beef. People make casseroles out of roast beef. They, again, make tacos or maybe enchiladas. It's just, you know, you could even make like patties out of it, like you do with salmon patties or something, and fry them up into patties. That would be good. There are just all kinds of ways to use roast beef, and if you have ways that you use it that you'd like to share with us, a recipe or something like that, be sure and drop it in the comments. We'll copy it and keep it. We love to see new recipes of what people do and what people use with their food. But those are 2 of the meats we keep in our pantry. Now, we don't keep a whole lot of this in our pantry, but we do keep some of it put back. This is one of those things that we rarely open, but it's something that will keep a long time, and it will be really good in emergency situations. It's the cans of cooked ham from Walmart. Now, we've put a few of those back over the time, and like I said, we've been prepping now for about 1.5 years. And in answer to the lady that said I was an amateur, she's correct. I am an amateur. I'm not a seasoned prepper, but I love to learn, and that's why I'm on this channel. You guys out there, you give us so many ideas and give us so much knowledge and information that you have, and you share it with us, and that's what makes this channel what it is because you guys share your knowledge with each other and with us, and we appreciate that. We really do. I've never claimed to be a seasoned prepper, and I know I'm way, way, way from that. But hey, listen, we're all learning, and we've all had to start somewhere and you know, pull our boots up and just take off and get going. But anyway, this cooked ham is good. Now, one of the things that you can make with this, outside of just sandwiches, you know, a lot of people make sandwiches with their ham, is that you can make soups, you can make salads, you can make casseroles. You could cube this up and put it in a salad. There's just so many ways. I saw one recipe where somebody had used this ham like this and chopped it up and used it in a scalloped potatoes recipe like that, and that looked really good. So yeah, there's just a lot of ways that you can use meats other than just, you know, eat them with sandwiches. But again, just like all these meats that I've been showing you here, guys, listen, beans and rice will make a good meal with that kind of stuff. If that's all you've got, listen, you can survive on that. And it's not bad at all. It's just not bad at all. Another thing that we pick up when we can find it. Now, we were fortunate enough this past weekend, we went to a town, out of town, to a Save-A-Lot store, and they actually had the roast beef and gravy that we like so well in stock. So we bought some of it. And we, you know, like I said, our local Save-A-Lot has not had this roast beef and gravy in, I know, well over a year, maybe 2 years, I'm not sure. But we've not been able to find it there. And we went out of town a few weeks ago to Save-A-Lot and tried to find some, where we had bought some previously, and they were out and said they didn't know when they would ever get it back in, if ever. So we went to a different Save-A-Lot this time, and they said they finally got this in. First time they had got it in months and months and months, and didn't know if they'd be getting any more in, so I bought several cans of it. Because we really like it. It's really good. Our son really likes it real well. and it is a benefit to our pantry. Roast beef and gravy. One of the things that Sandy and I do with this is we just fix mashed potatoes with it, and we put potatoes over bread and then smother it with the roast beef and gravy, and it's really good that way. That's just a plain meal, but it's good. And this is another one of those things that you could make a sandwich out of, or people actually make, I've seen a recipe where people make enchiladas out of the roast beef and gravy. You know, I don't know, that might be really good. Who knows, maybe even make some tacos out of it if you had some left over. But roast beef and gravy is a good meal. Pair it with some rice. You can always throw it with rice, and rice would be a great meal with the roast beef and gravy. And it's a cheap enough meal because 2 people can eat out of this can any way you pair it like that. You're going to get 2 meals out of that can, and that's a good thing. The next thing we buy, and this is another Walmart item that we purchase, is the Great Value chunk chicken breast, and we buy it in a 4-can pack like this because it's cheaper. You save just a little bit of money buying it like that, and we try to find one of those when we go out and buy 1 or 2 of those every time we go to put back in a pantry. This is a thing that we stock our pantry as heavy as we can with because we really like this stuff. It has such a good flavor to it, and Sandy and I use this the way we use it. I've showed you before, I think, on here, is we put this in a skillet with either cream of chicken soup. You know, you put the cream of chicken in just like he's going to fix cream of chicken soup. You put this chunk chicken down in it, drain the liquid off the chicken, put the chunk chicken right down in it, and let it heat till the chicken soup is, you know, ready to serve. And then everything's heated through and through. And in the meantime, fix you a small kettle of rice and some broccoli or something for a side like that. And then we put it all in the skillet together and mix it all up together and let it heat together and get those flavors together. And we eat it like that. And man, it is delicious. Now, you can fix it without the cream of chicken soup. I also do it with chicken broth instead of cream of chicken soup. And I just put like a cup of chicken broth in it and let the broth heat and the chicken heat together. And then I put my stuff in with it, season it to taste, and serve it with any kind of bread. It's just really a very good meal. And there's all kinds of things you can do with chicken. You can put it in salads. You can put it in stews. You can just, you know, you can make soups with it. There's just all kinds of stuff. Chicken is just a really good all-around meat to have, and we really like the chicken here at the Keys house, the chunk chicken. You can get you some of it, get it, and put it back. Another thing that we keep in our pantry that we've grown to like really well. Now, I'm not a big treat fan, and I'm not a big Spam fan, and Sandy's not either. But we really like this Luncheon meat, and it's that Great Value brand, and it's the original flavor. It's not any of the other. It's just the original flavor Luncheon meat. A lot of times we just cut this up, fry it, and have it on a sandwich. You can slice some of those garden tomatoes with it, and man, it makes a really good sandwich. And now this is another thing that people, I've seen them cut it up in recipes and cube it up and put it like in pork and beans and eat it that way. Put it with fried rice, you know, pair it with rice. Listen, most of the stuff you can pair with rice or beans of some kind and make a meal out of it with this meat. It's just so simple to do that stuff. There's no reason on earth, if you've got meats put back, why you would ever have to go hungry for meat, because you could take something like this, cut it in half. Man, cut this thing in half and dice it up and make something with it and get 2 meals out of it. There's no reason why you couldn't do that. People have, you know, I've seen baked lasagna type meals made with the Luncheon meat here. And again, it's just a Great Value. It'd be a great thing to put with your beef ramen noodle. You know, get your ramen noodles ready to go, dump you some mixed vegetables in there and throw some meat in it like that. No reason. Listen, there's all kinds of meals you can do with it. And like I said, if you have meals that you make with any of these meats that you'd like to share with us, be sure to do that, because, hey, there's a whole lot I don't know. The next thing is we buy Great Value chunk light tuna in water. Now, we like that also, and there's a lot of things can be done with this. As everybody knows, you can make tuna salad, just regular tuna salad, like you'd spread on bread and eat it, or eat with crackers, you know, and whatever it might be. And then there's people who take the tuna here and they make tuna casserole with it. And man, that's some good stuff. A lot of people use the tuna with pasta. They cook with that like that, and that makes a good meal. I've seen some others here that I've not tried that I wanted to share with you. Is tacos. I saw a recipe for tuna tacos. I saw a recipe for macaroni salad. I also saw a recipe with deviled eggs for your tuna. And I can't see why any of those wouldn't be good if you wanted to give them a try. Just jump online and type that in your search window, and I'm sure you'll find a good recipe for it. And again, you know, if you're short on something to eat with this, and this is all you've got, throw it on a bed of rice. Man, that'll make you a meal. Rice is always a staple. I know I say rice a lot, but I tell you what, when the going gets tough, buddy, if you've got rice and beans to eat, you're not going to go hungry. That's the good thing about it. The next thing I wanted to mention here that we've got in our pantry, we don't have a whole lot of this, but I do like this real well, is corned beef. Now, this is wonderful paired with cooked cabbage, just corned beef and cabbage. Bake you a pan of cornbread. You know, it don't cost anything to bake cornbread. A little bit of flour and a little bit of milk, egg, and water or milk. We prefer milk. We also bought some of that powdered buttermilk that I'm going to start using when I bake my bread, and then I won't have to use milk. I'll just use the powdered buttermilk with water, and then that makes it so much simpler. You don't have to have milk then, and it's just wonderful with that kind of stuff. And I saw somebody had put this together with like potatoes and carrots and vegetables like that in an Instapot, and they cooked it with that kind of stuff in an Instapot. And man, that looked really good. I thought that looked real good. And then of course you can make soups out of it if you need to. And again, casseroles, or somebody had a recipe on there for corned beef chowder. Now, I don't know if I've ever eaten any corned beef chowder, but it looked good. I think it would be a good meal. But if you have recipes that you use corned beef in, and I'd love to hear about them because I really like corned beef. Be sure and drop us a line in the comment section there. Now, this is not, well, let me do this one first. The armored veiny sausage. I think I showed this probably in our last haul that we did. These are really good for evening meals. Sandy and I do a breakfast here. We do a light breakfast, and then usually about 2 or 3 o'clock, anywhere from 1 to 3 o'clock, we'll eat lunch or dinner, as we might want to say. It's kind of a lunch dinner type thing because we don't eat a big meal in the evening after that. We'll take something like a can of these beanie weenies or some other food, and we'll make a light meal out of that. And we really like these, and they go a long way doing that. Sometimes if we're real hungry, we'll eat a whole can apiece, and if we're not, we'll half a can. But I just make a meal out of mine with crackers, and that does me just fine. So yeah, these are real good things to have in your pantry. They go a long way. Now, this is not particularly a meat, but it has meat in it. And the reason I decided to put this in with our meats is because it's something that we stock regularly. I buy this regularly when we go to Walmart. I want this in my pantry because it is an excellent meal in itself, and it has lots of meat in it. That's one of the things I liked about this beef stew from Walmart. The Great Value brand beef stew from Walmart, and it has a long date on it. I think these were out like 2023, probably 2024 actually, and they taste really, really good. And you can take this by itself and make a meal out of it. The beef stew, it's got potatoes and carrots and all that good stuff like that in it, and peas. And this by itself, without anything else, is a good meal for 2 people. Sandy and I can make a meal out of this. Most of the time, we'll make mashed potatoes with this. And like we do with the roast beef and gravy, we smother it the potatoes with this stuff, and it's an excellent meal like that. And another thing you can do with this, again, rice. Guys, this makes a wonderful meal with a bed of rice under it. It's just really, really good. So don't forget, I know this video is about meats, but don't forget to buy rice and beans when you go out. I don't care if you're looking for meat or not. Pick you up a 2-pound pack of beans and a 2-pound pack of rice. They're inexpensive. They're probably the most inexpensive food you'll buy that will last the longest. But last and not least, I wanted to share this with you, a little story that I laugh every time I think about the story, but I'm going to share this with you before I tell you the story. We get sardines sometimes. Now, I'm not real big on sardines, but Sandy likes them, and Jeremy likes them, so we get them from time to time. It's not a standard thing that we stock in our pantry, but I wanted to share this with you simply because it's a real quick, easy meal. And I was looking up some recipes online for sardines, and I'll just be honest with you, I didn't see anything that I thought I would like. But now there's stuff out there, and some of you all might like them. Look you up some recipes for sardines online and see what kind of contraptions you come up with. But a guy I used to work with, this was several years ago when I was a young man, we were working, and we cleared right-of-way for power companies, the big power lines. And he had stopped by, we had stopped by the store, and he picked up a bag of barbecue chips and a can of sardines like this. And I thought, man, that's a kind of an odd combination. Well, when lunchtime came, we got in the truck to eat, and he opened his sardines and opened his bag of barbecue chips, and oh goodness, he poured the sardines right down in those chips, and he mashed the bag of chips up like this on the sardines, and he just turned them up, and it almost turned me against sardines. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, give us a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed to our channel, subscribe. Ring that bell when it comes up to be notified of our new videos when they come up. Don't forget to check out our New Locals channel. That link's in the description below. And as always, we appreciate you guys, and we love you and pray for you. And the most wonderful thing you'll ever do is prep your soul for the Lord Jesus Christ and His return. And then the next thing is to prep your pantries. Prep your pantries and prep all your properties and your buildings and everything like that. Make sure you've got everything you need in case of an emergency. And until the next time, we'll see you then.